Well, hello. Today we are in downtown Neenah, Wisconsin. Neenah is known for paper making barons here. And this is where I got my start in the jewelry business. I used to work up in that building right there. And then my first job was in this plaza right here. It was a place called Faye's Fine Jewelry. But it wasn't owned by a person named Faye. It was owned by Joe and Amy Ziemba. And so they changed the name to J. Anthony Jewelers a few years later. Oh, and there's a puppy. All right, Joe's getting out of the car. So Joe, I started my career in the jewelry business with Joe and Amy Ziemba. And there's a puppy.
Yeah, you were still working at the dental lab place.
What's the matter? It's a camera.
And the funny thing about working at the dental place was eat it. Are we ready to roll? Are you gonna be the
host?
The host and the prompter? Or?
Well, we're rolling already.
Cool.
This is Joe, the guy I've been telling you about.
Oh,
the
Jesus.
guy who started me. Now, remember I was working in downtown Neenah?
You were working in downtown Neenah?
He said, why don't you come and work for me? Because you were on the board of directors and the job was going down. And I thought about it for, like I said, about maybe 40 seconds. And I thought, fun people walking in, you know, get to learn a business, and I get to get into sales. So it was a blast. So
it was good. We had a good couple years together. Then you dumped me.
I'm sorry.
So moving on.
All right. How did you get into business?
It goes back to 1982. Tells you a
right.
little bit of history here. Geez, I'm 30-some years at this trade already.
Okay.
It was 1982. I was living in Florida. I had just lost my job working for an industrial silo manufacturer.
Okay.
And so many people ask me over the years, how'd you get into this trade? They think maybe mom and dad had it, or
Right.
one thing or another. And my wife, Amy, was a dental technician, and she was working in a dental lab, and she hated the boss. We're pregnant with our first child, our only child.
Yep.
I just bought a house, and then I lost my job.
Okay.
Amy's not happy. She comes home from work one day, kicks her shoe off. She had clogged shoes on at the time. Kicks it off in the doorway, right through the patio door.
Was it a wooden one? Like a wooden? Okay.
Yeah, with the leather top on it.
Yeah.
Shatters the door. I'm like, oh my God. We don't have a couple nickels here to do anything. The car's broke down. It's a classic, on the skids. I couldn't find a job pumping gas. College graduate, all that good stuff. Mm-hmm. And it's 1982, that recession, as I said. She took a job working as a gold polisher for a jeweler in Ocala, and I was watching a public television program that said to survive this recession, you have to have something people want. The story went on, and it talked about a delicatessen in Greenwich Village, New York. The guy's busy as can be because the people were having their parties, their birthdays. They still wanted to have stuff going on, and they wanted good food.
Right.
I'm like, okay, that made sense. Another guy was selling exotic sports cars. Now, $200,000 back in '82 was like a handmade Lamborghini or something. It was a high-end car.
Right.
And he was telling the story that one guy came in, wanted to buy this car because he made $1 million less last year than this year, and he wanted to cheer himself up. Amy came home from working at the shop, and I said, I know what I want to do.
We're getting in the sports car business.
I really liked, and here's a shout out to our friends in Wisconsin. I bought my diamond, 1-carat diamond back in 1978 from Jim Kreshak Jewelers in Wausau. And I really liked Jim, and that's a whole nother story we could talk about there.
You bet.
But anyway, he always treated me right and fairly. And so I like that, and the public television program was like, have something people want. And I'm like, Amy, there's always weddings, there's always birthdays, anniversaries. They always want to have something fixed. I really like the jeweler I bought that ring from. You're enjoying this working for the jeweler here in Ocala as a gold polisher. This is what I want to do. Dots come stars line up, and all of a sudden I'm working as assistant manager at Zales in Ocala. And this is going to follow into another part of Zales in Ocala, but you had a story last week about In the Boots or something. What's in the boot?
Yeah.
I was at the job for about a month, and this lady comes through the mall, classic bag lady, pushing a grocery cart, all the worldly belongings in there, a little bit of a body odor, and I'm like, and the manager of the store is like, Joe, you go deal with this lady.
Go get rid of her, yeah.
Yeah, get rid of her. I go out there, and she wants to see the most expensive diamond ring we've got in the store. At the time, it was like an $11,000 ring, so I don't know what that would be like today, but that was a big piece, several carat cluster kind of ring it was. I show it to her. She says, I love that ring. Give me your card, young man. I'm going to have my boyfriend come in and get it. I'm like, okay, I give her the card.
Ultimate B-bag bus.
Yeah, I grew up in a small community in Wisconsin, and worked in a feed mill where I saw all kinds of individuals coming through. But anyway,
and all kinds of odors.
Yeah, well, odors, but some well-to-do farmers came in with their new pickup trucks. Some guys were just trying to get their family by, and they had an old beater truck wired together with hay wire, and they grinded a sack of feed. So I didn't care.
Right.
About a week goes by. This old guy comes in. The manager of the store works with this guy, wants to get him out. Again, baggy old suit, dirty tie, fedora hat that looks like it's been a
Goodwill
a couple, 2-3 times, and hands the manager my card. I want to see this guy. Okay, the manager gives me the look, and I'm like, what's up? And I go over there, I talk to him. My girlfriend was in and wants to see this ring. And I'm like, well, that's got to be this ring. I show it to him. He goes, that's the one she wanted? I'm like, yep, it's okay, I'll take it. And that was it. He reached in his vest pocket, pulled out $100 bills. I had no idea where the money came from. Not my business.
Right.
In 1982.
Yeah.
But counted out $11,000 plus tax on the counter. And
wow.
that was pretty awesome.
Wow.
But I think the teaching moment of this whole story brings us right to today. Brings us to the last month or two.
Yeah.
With this whole COVID-19. Here at the store, we were closed April and May. And comments were made, I don't know what it's going to be like here in another 6 months. Are the stores going to make it? Are the independents going to fall on their face? Are people going to want to still buy jewelry? And yes, they are. It goes all the way back to what I learned from that public television show. You got to have something the affluent people want, or people want in general. I shouldn't say affluent. That's not the right term.
Yeah.
Because there's always going to be weddings. There's always going to be anniversaries. And I'll tell you what, we had a gangbuster June. And talking with other jewelers, everybody is doing really well. So, hey, pull up your bootstraps, put on a smile, and let's get to work. It's going to be an awesome next couple of years.
Thanks, Joe. Beautiful.